Welcome to a brand new edition of Local Focus with Sebastian Noel. I'm your host. Very exciting to have my guest back. You saw him in the opening credits there a little bit. So he was been on the show. He was our very first guest when he was at Manzano. He made time for us when he was at San Diego State. And now we're happy to have back Pittsburgh Steeler Jordan Byrd. Welcome home.
Oh, yes.
To the show and to New Mexico,
Yes,
right?
sir. Appreciate it.
So how long have you been home here? You spent a little time at home?
Just for, I think, 4 days now.
Okay.
Yeah, just been relaxing and training. So.
What's Grandma been making, man? What have you been eating at home?
Oh, man, she's cooking up a little bit something
All right,
out
all
there.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
So.
All right, before we get into football, though, you're an author now as well, right?
Yeah.
I have the book right here. Jordan wrote a children's book, right? So Jordan Byrd's Courage to Soar. You can check that out on Amazon. How did this come about?
Oh, man, the guy who helped me, he helped me with my camp as well. He was, I was honored to have him on the team with us. And then he hit me up one day asking if I wanted to make a children's book and, just get that out there, get my story out there of where I ended up now. There's a lot of ups and downs I went through in life, and I feel like people needed to hear that and to show that they can go through their ups and downs as well. And so I feel like I need to put that in the book and show people what I could do, what they can do with that as well.
And that's kind of always been your thing, right? You've always said that in previous episodes that, you're real big on like, hey, anyone can do this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
New Mexico kids can do this. But you put it into book form, right? So, which is pretty cool. I'm just looking through here. I see some pictures of you at the Rio Rancho Event Center at a camp.
Yes, sir.
So some illustrations. What's been the feedback on this?
It's actually been really well. I know it probably doesn't motivate the kids, but it motivates the parents to keep their kids going.
Right.
Just having that, feels good. Even my teammates for the Steelers bought the book, so I felt really good. And hearing the feedback from them, the coaches as well. Mike Tomlin telling me he loved the book, so it was nice to get that, and I enjoyed that for sure.
All right, so Coach Tomlin's got one of these in his bookshelf?
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
That's awesome. How awesome is that, right?
Yeah, it's an honor to have that.
That's pretty cool, man. And you're going to be doing a book signing in town, right? So,
yes, sir. Yeah, I'll have mine July 14th or 15th. So I'll probably put something out to let everybody know when it is.
So, what one thing out of here, and you've always been really good at articulating this, but when you do talk to kids now, because you do talk to kids now, I mean, what's the number one message really? What do you kind of tell them?
Just don't give up on your dreams. That's one thing I had to go through. There's sometimes you just sit there in your room like, dang, is this for me? And do I need to keep doing this? You'll have those days, but just jumping over that leap, is one thing that a lot of kids can get through. And I feel like you just put your mind to it, your heart into it, you'll get through it for sure.
So you've always talked about obstacles and overcoming them, but I don't think we've ever gotten into them, right? We've always just seen Jordan Byrd, New Mexico's fastest guy, right? Stud at Manzano, stud at San Diego State, obviously what you're doing now. But what are some of the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome?
My height, I'm not the biggest guy. Playing the sport I am in now is hard to succeed being my size. And I feel like one thing that I did to overcome that, is in my head, I knew that I was the best player on the field. I keep that to myself. I don't do that outside of football or anything, but when I'm on that field, I know that I'm the best dude. I'm the biggest guy on the field. So that shows that, I have confidence in myself.
Right.
That's one thing I feel like a lot of people need in this world is confidence in themselves, and you can overachieve a lot of stuff if you have confidence in yourself.
Right. And obviously that's the easy one to point to is height, right? What else is another example of something that maybe we don't know about that you had to fight over and overcome?
Yeah, I had a disability. I couldn't read when I was in school. I wasn't really the best at reading. And that's one thing I had to overcome. And I feel like I don't know. I wasn't dyslexic, but I had to get tested for that type of stuff.
Right.
I was in special ed classes when I was little, and just overcoming that. Even on the field, I was, fighting and grinding and doing stuff like that. But I was grinding in school, just trying to overcome, being in special ed classes and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't know about that, but that's one thing that I had to overcome too in life was that.
And you talked about the confidence thing, right? And what has always struck me about you is though you can see the supreme confidence on the field, but you are totally not that dude off the field.
Yeah.
Like the most down to earth. And where did that come from? Like, I mean, because I've seen you at Sandia basketball games, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know, but you're related to Dalen Moyer, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's my cousin.
And I just see you make time for everyone when you're in the community. Like, where did that all come from? Because you are totally just the most down to earth, approachable dude away from the field.
Oh yeah, you know, some people came to my games and I felt like I played better, and I felt like when I went to my cousin's games, I felt like he had more of a chip on his shoulder. The whole team had a chip on their shoulder. You know, they didn't end up winning the finals. You know, I was there, and I feel like they played their best game. But you know, I feel like having somebody that they know that is, you know, doing well in sports, them showing up to the game, I feel like that helps them out. It's one thing I felt like, you know, Aaron Foster his brother used to come to my games and stuff, and
Right.
I felt like that gave me a chip on my shoulder to play even harder, you know, show them that I'm the best on the field. So that's one thing that I really loved.
Now, I would imagine that attention has just ramped up, though, right? Like, usually you come back in town, there's one or two dudes that want to talk to you after a game, right?
Oh, yeah.
The last couple of times you were back in town, like,
Yeah.
pretty big crowd around you after the games, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, it's enjoying. I loved it. It was one thing that I truly loved, was to see that, especially coming from New Mexico. It was
Right.
really nice to see all the people that is behind my back.
And, you know, they're all going to be asking for tickets, so you're going to have to find a way to manage that, right? At
Oh
some
yeah,
point, right?
yeah, most definitely.
Like,
Yeah, because now that's coming out of my pocket, so
Yeah.
I gotta
So,
manage that one.
I'm sure that's going to have to be something you have to tackle down the
Oh,
road.
yeah.
Right. All right. We'll take our first break with Jordan. When we get back, I want to switch to football a little bit. The last time you were here, you were kind of heading into your senior year at San Diego State, right? And so I want to talk about that a little bit, that last year, and then all this draft prep when we get back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Veterans alone are 6 times more likely to die by suicide than a civilian. One of our clients had a moment where they knew this way down the hallway is where they kept their gun, and this way down the hallway is where their phone was, to call Paws and Stripes. And now they're living this entire full, rich life that they never thought that would ever be possible. Paws and Stripes is so excited that US Eagle is doing this. You can contribute to saving veteran and dog lives.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Back with Pittsburgh Steeler and author Jordan Byrd, right? Like, that just
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
good, doesn't it?
It
Author,
does.
right?
I like
that's
that.
something you put on the resume, right?
Most definitely.
All right, the last time you were here, we were talking a little bit about you going into your senior year and getting ready for that. And obviously this NFL thing was always already on the radar, right? And I remember you were talking about how San Diego State was really a great place to get you ready for that because of the competition there. So just let's pick up that conversation from there. So what was that senior year? What did it do to prepare you for this?
Oh yeah, you know, we had a lot of running backs, you know, that can start, and felt like that competitiveness we had in the room was what really helped me, you know, get to where I'm at now. You know, practicing every day, going 110%, you know, knowing that your job can be taken, and I feel like bringing that mentality into the NFL is one thing that I have, just it's always working hard. Even if I mess up, there's one thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go full speed. Even though if I, ran the wrong route, I'm gonna still do 100%, 110%. And
Right.
I feel like that's what San Diego State has really helped me out with. Always, being mental toughness. There's a lot of things that you're gonna go through in the NFL for sure.
And so that progress, how did that process kind of work? So you go through the season, you declare for the draft. At that point, do you hire an agent? Not yet. How does all that work?
Yeah, during your season, your senior season, you're gonna be talking to agents and stuff, but you gotta choose the right one, and I feel like you gotta choose the one that is gonna be just one-on-one with you, and they have other clients and stuff as well, but you gotta make sure that they're there for you. You're not there for them, because you're trying to get them out there as well. So I feel like I chose my agent, based on like family, how he treated my family, and I think he treated my family well. He took his time to come out here to New Mexico, see where I was from, and see how I lived when I was out here, and I feel like that was really true and really stuck to the heart. He was really nice, and the whole industry was really good, and that's the reason why I chose my agency I'm with right now.
Okay. And so that process, you're getting ready for the draft now. The season's over, you're getting ready for the draft. So what goes into that, right? Like, obviously, I'm sure the workouts ramp up like crazy, right? But what started to happen after the season?
Oh yeah, it's after the season, it's basically on you. You still have your trainers and stuff, but it's not mandatory.
Right.
You don't have to do it, but I felt like making that change to just doing it on my own really helped me out to discover what I needed for myself, for my body and for my physical and mental health. There's a lot of stuff that you go through just being on your own, working out, and just trying to make a team. I feel like just finding out yourself in that standpoint, it was really nice to see how my body just transitions to where I'm at right now.
It doesn't look like that little dude in the credits anymore.
Oh yeah,
That
not at
was a
all,
young
not
cat
no more.
right there. That was a young cat.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, and then at what point of this process does communication with the league start? Like, when do teams start talking to you? When do you start reaching out? When does your agent start reaching out? How does that whole process start up, I guess?
Oh yeah. I mean, that first few months before the combine, you see if you make it or not. If you don't make it, I mean, you still got your pro day, and that's what happened with me. I still had my pro day, so I knew that I still had to work hard. And talking with your agent, and we had calls with other players that were in the NFL that went through what we went through, and just hearing their story and just hearing how they got to where they're at now. That really helped us out. Going through what they did was I mean, everybody goes through the same thing.
And so you went through the combine, right?
Yeah, I didn't go
You
to
didn't.
the
So
combine.
you
I had my
had
pro day.
right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what's that like? Take us to pro day.
It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. You see your teammates for the first time in months, and
Right.
everything's different. You're just going in there. It's just on you. You want to cheer for your teammates as well, but you got to still remember that you're there for you as well. So it was pretty cool though. I really liked it. When you see the coaches all walk in, it gives you those nerves, the chills and stuff. Coaches coming to you, talking to you, just saying that you had a really good season and stuff like that was really cool. And going into the drills and stuff we did, if you mess up, they watch your body language. They see how you're gonna react to that stuff. And I slipped in my 5-10-5 and my L drill. I slipped both times, and I remember my agent telling me, like, they're gonna watch your reactions, how you're gonna react to how you mess up. And I feel like I handled myself really well, and came back, bounced back from those mistakes, and I think it really helped me out.
So at pro day, like, what are you? You talked about so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can kind of choose what you want to showcase at pro day, or you're doing every drill, or how does that work?
I mean, there's some of our teammates.
You hear it, right? Like, you hear some guys, I'm not throwing it pro day,
Yeah.
or I'm not doing this
Yeah.
at pro day. So tell me about that.
A lot of them do that. One of our players didn't bench, and that I think that really hurt him. It didn't really show him how strong he is, what he can do, and I think that really affected him. And some of them didn't run the 40, and that kind of hurt you as well. But I did everything. I'm not gonna lie. After the bench, I was tired, and we had the 40 right after, so I didn't really have a good time. My legs felt like Jello, but I mean, I still went out there and
Right.
did my best. So
You think that speaks to? I mean, I'm sure coaches got to look at that too, right? If you're doing everything.
Yeah. You know, coaches look at that. You know, they still watch your body language. They still watch how you're going to react to that type of stuff. Because we didn't really get enough time to you know, relax after the bench and then right to the 40. We did like a 10-minute stretch and we were right there, right on the line, ready to run. And so it was different for sure.
And so pro day's over. What are your thoughts after pro day? Like, what do you and your agent meet after that? Kind of take inventory of how you guys think it went, or just take me through that process.
Well, then you start getting calls from teams. They ask you like, oh, you did really well. You know, even if you didn't do well during the pro day, they see what you do on the field. They got film. That's one thing that a lot of people need is film. Film is one thing that can get you anywhere. So, but yeah, you get calls from coaches, you know, talking to the teams, and then agents talking to teams as well. You know, just getting connections everywhere. But other than that, yeah, it's a waiting game.
Right, and that's gotta be the hardest part, right?
It is. I thought it was the hardest part. You know, every day you're sitting there like, dang, am I gonna make a team or not? You know, you don't know until that day comes.
You're bothering your agent every day, like,
yeah.
Are you hear anything?
Yeah. You know, you telling your agent so and so called, this person called, and you may never know. They still they can call you all those times and still not get you.
Oh, take another break. We'll get back with Jordan. We're going to talk about, okay, what teams were interested right off the bat, that whole process, take us all the way into draft night. We'll be right back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm Rachel Maletkoff from St. Felix Pantry. We've provided groceries to those in need since 1992, and we rely on community to make this happen. We're the only pantry in Sandoval County that allows weekly access to high-quality groceries. Our only requirement for anyone to receive food is to be a New Mexico resident. We've never left anyone empty-handed. PNM helps make it possible with a grant from PNM shareholders. Thank you, PNM, for helping us help others.
PNM are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Back with Jordan Byrd. All right, so your pro day's done. At that point, like, what teams did you have the best feelings about? What teams were vibing right? You thought, okay, these guys love me.
After my pro day, the Jets, we had a one-on-one meeting with them, and we had a good little conversation. Chargers as well, we had a little good conversation. Chargers, Rams, we had a really good connection. And then Steelers was the one that really stuck out, you could tell. You know, I talked to the special teams coach, Danny Smith, and me and him had a really good connection. You know, we went over a lot of stuff, you know, during my season, like the reason why I fumbled here, what happened here, and stuff like that. I feel like he really was dialed in and finding the details of how I played. And I feel like he really enjoyed how I had the ball in my hands, you know. And I told him 90% of the time I'm trying to score. So I feel like that really helped me out, you know, just having the opportunity to play special teams and almost everywhere on the field. So that really helped me out for sure.
I do want to backtrack to one thing though. When you were back getting ready for your pro day here, right?
I was, yeah.
So there's a little local connection there, right? Like,
yeah.
So I remember getting this message like, hey, well, I'll let you tell the story. How did that come about, right? But for those that don't know, a local kicker, Caden Bell, helped out a little bit with that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it was cool, especially coming back and then getting help from kids out here and players out here. It was pretty dope. And, yeah.
I remember when Jared sent me a message, he's like, hey, man, I need a kicker to get Jordan ready. And I was like, well, there's only one kicker kicking it above the lights here in New Mexico. So if it's someone that's going to need to get Jordan ready for kicks that he's going to return at that level, I thought, okay, Caden's the dude. So, and obviously, you played at San Diego State with, like, the punt god, right? Matt Ariza, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen good kickers there.
I have.
So what do you think about my man Caden? Like, did he get you ready?
Oh, yeah, he did for
kick
sure.
a little bit, right?
I was surprised at first. You know, he shanked one, and I was like, and then he started kicking. I was like, hold on, I'm about to dial in on these ones.
Okay.
But, yeah, he can kick it for sure.
All right, so you got ready here, right? So that's
did,
cool.
yes.
Okay. All right, so now let's go back to where we left. So pro day's over. What's the time frame between pro day and the draft?
Our pro day was, I think, in March.
Right.
March 17th, and then the draft day is in April, so that whole little time right
you
there.
got a month.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, you still got to stay in shape, training and stuff. I was training. It wasn't too like critiqued on stuff that I need to do. Like running for the 40, 5-10-5 and stuff like that, bench. But that was the time to really get my strength back up and get more weight on myself. And yeah, it was a different change. Training for a pro day and then going into training for you don't know what. So
right. So what? And then at that point, what? I guess what level of communication is still going on? Like, what are you in that month period? What are you hearing?
Just teams telling you that they want you, and we'll see on draft day. On draft day. So it's all a waiting game. It's you're just sitting there waiting for a call. You get a call. Honestly, I got calls almost every day, but one team stuck out. So
right. So you're heading into the draft, but really, you're still waiting.
Yeah.
No one's come out and said, "Hey, we're going to take you if you're available at X, Y, and Z." That hasn't happened yet, or?
No, not yet. I mean, maybe like a week before, a couple teams was telling me they might give me, the 6th, 7th round. I knew I wasn't gonna go really high, but
right.
As long as I got on a team and showed what I can do, it was amazing. So.
And then was there when did it kind of narrow? When did it narrow down? Like
I feel like that first week of draft day, that's when you find out who really wants you.
Right.
Because you don't get too many calls anymore, and things start to change for sure.
Right.
You start to get nervous and.
So then, okay, so now take us. It's draft week, and God knows the draft takes a week now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. What's that week like? I mean, obviously you're not expecting to get a phone call on day one, right?
Yeah.
That's fair to say,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what's going through your mind during the draft? Like, are you keeping an eye on, like, okay, you kind of know in your mind the teams you've been talking to, so are you keeping an eye on who they're drafting?
Oh yeah. I read an article. It was with the Rams. It was between me and this dude from TCU. We were about the same height and stuff like that. But I think he was a little bit faster than me, and it was just battling between us two. So I feel like. When they chose him, I was like, well, dang, I'm done with the Rams now,
right.
So I don't have to worry about that team. And then the Chargers drafted someone else that was around the same as me as well.
So they're drafting your position now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the teams are dropping off.
Oh yeah. And then it got to the 6th round, and then that's when my agent got a call. Or actually, my agent got a call that morning from the Steelers saying that they wanted me and they were going to give me either 6th, 7th, or just a free agent. So that's what he didn't tell me that until the 5th round came, and then I think I'm glad he did that, so I wasn't too, relaxed on it. I feel like I wanted to be on that edge and see where I was gonna go. And,
right.
And then when the 7th round came and when the Steelers had their last pick, I was like, well, then right after the draft, I got a call from the special teams coach saying that they want to sign me, and I talked to my agent and talked to my family, and I think that was a big fit for me.
And so it literally, as soon as the draft was over, you knew that's where you're going.
Yeah, because literally right when the last pick went in, I forget what they call that pick.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it was that one, and I think that was the Chargers, right? I think it was the Chargers was the last pick, yeah, and I thought I was gonna go there, and then they get the call, and I was like, well. And as soon as that one ended, I got the call from the Steelers, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the team.
All right, so then. What happens after that?
Training,
right.
Training, getting in shape for rookie camp,
All right, but what's out of shape for Jordan Byrd? Like, I've never seen you out of shape, so what would you consider not in shape for you?
When I went into rookie camp, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little tired because I never ran so many routes like that before, and
so more recovery than anything for you at that point. Or?
Being a running back, you don't really run that many routes.
Right.
I mean, you run a flat or sometimes a go ball or anything like that. But, I'm running that all the time, and, more cuts and stuff that I had to get used to. But it was a good change. I liked it, though. I liked the competitiveness that my coach gave me out there, During our rookie camp, it was only 5 of us, so we were going back to back, and it was nice, though. I liked it.
Tell me about the first time at the facility. What was that like? I mean, I've heard it's a pretty nice facility there. Just tell me about that whole experience.
Oh yeah, it's nice. They share with Pitt as well, so they're right across the street or right across the building. So, but it was really dope. Seeing all the pictures, seeing the trophies, the Super Bowl trophies. It I couldn't imagine. I was like, wow, I'm really here right now. You know, I sat in my locker. I'm like,
this is happening.
Yeah, this is really happening. You know, I put my helmet on. I know it was
Did you have
really
to snap
dope.
out of it? Like,
yeah. You know, I had to tell myself like, wow, this is game time now. Like everything you do now is what you've been fighting for. So.
Conversations with Zach Gentry, having a local kid there?
Oh, yeah.
A chance to talk to Zach?
Yeah, when I signed, he actually texted me saying that he was excited to have me on the team, and if I ever needed anything, you know, he was there for me. You know, he actually helped me out. It was really dope.
I think you should hit him up on that, right? Like, hey man, hey Mr. Veteran, like you got a spare room? Like, he should pick up tabs for dinner and stuff, right?
Facts.
Right?
You know, drive me around and stuff.
Yeah, like that's
cool.
that's the big brother, little brother, right?
Most
like
definitely.
he should be able to help you with that.
Oh yeah.
So what's next? I guess what's the next step, right? You've gone through workouts, things like that. What's next?
You know, you get flown out. I got flown out the day before rookie camp. Had some things going on, you know, with my flight. So I almost didn't make my flight because they canceled it. So I had to change a whole new airlines. And then when that happened, it was a flight leaving like 20 minutes before I got to the airport. So I had to rush over there and get on the plane. And then I ended up getting stuck in Atlanta. And so I ended up missing like all the meetings that I needed to go to. And I get there and I made it to my wide receiver meeting, and I got to see how that was, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was dope. And then, you know, you get to your hotel, just relaxing, waiting for the next day, and then you go into the day, you get all these testing, you know, blood drawn, you know, urinal test and all that stuff. And after that, you go straight into practice, and it's pretty cool.
And so when will you be heading back?
The 25th of July. That's when I'll be heading back, getting ready for training camp. We'll be going to Latrobe, St. Vincent College there, so we'll be away from Pittsburgh. It's like an hour 30 minutes away.
The birthplace of Arnold Palmer, the golfer.
Yes. Most definitely.
There you go. All right, so first pitch at a Pittsburgh Steelers game or at a Pittsburgh Pirates game, is that around the corner? Is that something you're thinking around? I'm just saying, right? That could happen, right?
Yeah.
Like first one you take to the house, then you're throwing out a first pitch, right? It could happen.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We went to the game last week. It was dope. I really liked it.
Right.
They had us in a suite and they gave us our own jerseys with our names on it too. It was nice. The stadium is beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
You can see the whole downtown and everything, the river, everything. It was nice.
If you haven't checked out the book, it's Jordan Byrd's Courage to Soar, Amazon and Barnes & Noble here locally in Albuquerque. Jordan, I really mean it, man. You've always made time for this show. You were our very first guest. You never said no when you were in college. You always came back, and I really appreciate you coming back. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And you know, with the Packers roster in flux a little bit, we don't even have a quarterback anymore.
Jordan Love, I think he'll do good.
Maybe. I could see myself rocking the black and yellow. I mean,
that'd be pretty cool.
I'll be watching.
Still got Keyshawn.
I'll be watching. Jersey. Yeah, I got Keyshawn in Green Bay, but I'm torn now because I got you in Pittsburgh. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching, everyone, and good night.